They told you six figures would fix it, that once you crossed $100,000, the anxiety would stop. The late-night math would finally add up. April crossed that line, multiple six figures, and nothing changed. Her student debt is $90,000. Childcare costs more than her husband's entire salary. She feels broker than she did at $60,000. That's not a discipline problem. That's money dysmorphia. And a Nobel Prize winner just proved that the cure isn't making more money. It's breaking a lie. Today, I'm going to show you the lie, the trap, and the three systems to override both. Money dysmorphia. Your brain looks at your bank account and refuses to believe the number. The money is there. The feeling says it isn't. Three forces are doing this to you. A debunked study the entire finance industry still teaches. An algorithm taxing your perception every night you scroll, and structural costs designed to swallow your paycheck before you can build anything. We're going to break all three, and then I'm handing you the systems to fight back. The $75,000 LI. For over a decade, an entire industry was built on one number, $75,000. That's where money supposedly stops buying happiness. Financial advisors quoted it. YouTube creators built whole scripts around it. There's one problem. The scientist who created that number just proved himself wrong. In a 2024 adversarial collaboration published in one of the world's top science journals, Daniel Kahneman, the Nobel Laureate behind the original claim, teamed up with researcher Matthew Killingsworth. The result, experienced well-being rises linearly with log income, with an equally steep slope above $80,000, and actually accelerates for the happiest cohort. Past $80,000, happiness doesn't plateau. It speeds up. The original $75,000 cap only applies to approximately the least happy 20% of the population. People dealing with grief, clinical depression, severe health crises. For everyone else, no ceiling, no finish line. So why does every finance channel still quote the old number? Because the old number is comforting. It says the race has an end. Cross it and the anxiety stops. That's a beautiful lie. And it's the lie keeping you on the hamster wheel. Jeff, a tech founder, sold his company and watched millions land in his account on a train one morning. Instead of joy, depression hit instantly. The money changed nothing about who he was. His happiness only returned when he went back to build something with purpose. They measured the floor of misery, not the ceiling of joy. If you remember one thing from this section, the Nobel laureate who drew the happiness finish line just erased it. But if the science is wrong about when money helps, what's making you feel broke right now? The distortion. Here's the number. A 2025 analysis using Federal Reserve data found that 37% of individuals experiencing money dysmorphia have over $10,000 in savings. 23% have over $30,000. The national median, about $8,000. People who feel broke are sitting on more cash than the average American household. The issue isn't mathematical, it's cognitive. Money dysmorphia is a complete anxiety-driven disconnect between your actual bank balance and your perceived wealth. Your brain checks the number and refuses to register it as enough. Not because it isn't. Because your reference point has been hijacked. And April has it. 6 figures, 3 kids. Every night after Camden, Cairo, and Raya go to bed, she opens her banking app. The number should feel like safety. It feels like falling behind, not because anything changed in the account, but because the algorithm showed her 3 people her age doing better. A 2026 global happiness study across 47 countries confirmed it. The happiness of people under 25 in the US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand has fallen by an average of 0.86 points on a 10-point scale over the past 20 years. Living standards went up. Happiness went down. The only variable that changed its scale, the screen. And a major 2025 wealth survey shows Americans now believe it takes $2.3 million to be considered wealthy. The goalpost moves every year. In one direction. Roger and Lara Griffiths won £1.8 million in the lottery and lost every penny within 8 years to lifestyle explosion and an uninsured house fire. Even a windfall can't survive money dysmorphia without a system. The scoreboard is fake, but the damage is real. And for millions of people, the damage isn't just in their heads. The vortex. Let's talk about where the math actually is brutal. They're called Henrys. High earners not rich yet. A 2025 national workforce study found that 42% of younger workers report living paycheck to paycheck, and 74% struggle to save due to competing financial priorities, not competing wants. Priorities: childcare, healthcare, education, housing. This is the Financial Vortex, and it doesn't care about your salary. April's story is the vortex in action. Multiple six figures in revenue. $90,000 in student debt, compounding while she sleeps. Childcare and education for 3 kids so expensive that her husband, a radio professional, had to quit his career to homeschool them full-time, not by choice, because outsourcing childcare exceeded his entire salary. Stack it. Student loans, $1,200 a month. Healthcare premiums climbing every renewal cycle. Housing in Rochester up 30% since she bought. And the convenience spending that kicks in when both parents run on 4 hours of sleep. DoorDash, Amazon Subscribe and Save, the $12 matcha that isn't a luxury. It's survival. April describes it as being stuck on a hamster wheel, running faster, earning more, going nowhere. The old advice says she's spending too much on lattes. The data says her surplus is consumed by structural costs before a single discretionary dollar exists. And it's getting worse. By 2043, projections indicate 65% of workers may be living paycheck to paycheck, even as wages rise. They're not spending too much. They're earning into a trap. Here's the rule. If your fixed costs eat your raise before you see it, the problem isn't your behavior, it's the architecture. But what happens when an entire generation realizes the architecture is rigged? The coping crisis. They stop trying to escape. A 2025 National Consumer Survey found that 37% of Gen Z and 39% of millennials admit to doom spending, buying things not out of joy, but fatalism. And underneath, 47% of Gen Z explicitly state they cannot rationalize saving money due to fears about the future. They're not buying happiness. They're buying anesthesia. And here's the data that should scare you. Hard deposit data from major banks, not surveys, actual account data, shows only about 24% of households are truly paycheck to paycheck, and that number is shrinking. But self-reported surveys say over 50%. The gap between the real number and the felt number, that gap is money dysmorphia measured at national scale. Meanwhile, a 2025 government health report found that people in the wealthiest counties live 7 years longer than those in the poorest. 7 years. Financial perception doesn't just affect your mood, it affects how long you live. Feeling poor isn't just stressful, it's lethal. So what do you do when the science was wrong, the algorithm is rigged, the structural costs are inescapable, and your perception is literally shortening your life? Pivot. You can't meditate away the financial vortex. You can't gratitude journal your way past money dysmorphia, and you definitely can't save your way out by cutting a $5 latte. You need 3 systems. The first one takes less than an hour. Before I walk you through them, I audit systems. I don't manage your money. That's your CPA's job. I'm handing you the architecture. You fill in the numbers. The baseline reset. Money dysmorphia feeds on one thing, a broken reference point. Your brain compares your account to a curated highlight reel. So the first system is this. You build your own scoreboard. Step 1, calculate your actual position, not relative to Instagram, relative to the data. National median savings is about $8,000. If you have $14,000, you're above it. If you have $30,000, you're in the top quartile of your age group. Write that number down. That's your anchor, a number you verified, not a number the algorithm fed you. Step 2. Define your enough number, not your dream number. Your enough number, the specific monthly amount where your needs, your obligations, and your joy factor are covered. Open a spreadsheet. List rent, food, transport, debt payments, plus one line item that makes life worth living. That total is your enough number. Everything above it is building material. Step 3. Remove one comparison input for 30 days. Zillow, Carvana, Instagram, Explore. Pick the one that makes you feel the most behind and delete it. Not forever. 30 days. Long enough for your baseline to recalibrate to reality instead of the algorithm's hologram. April did this. She stopped checking Zillow at 1 a.m. She calculated her actual position above the national median despite the vortex. Within 3 weeks, the financial anxiety dropped, not because anything changed in her account, because the reference point stopped moving. Here's the takeaway. You're not broke. Your scoreboard is. The loud budget. System 1 fixes the internal distortion. System 2 fixes the external pressure. Loud budgeting was coined by writer Lucas Battle in 2024. The rule: every time social pressure pushes you to spend outside your system, you say it out loud. Not, "I can't afford it." That's shame. Instead, "I'm not spending on that because my system allocates it somewhere else." That's clarity. Here's the framework. Step 1. Identify your top 3 social spending triggers. For most people, group dinners, trips, and gift exchanges. Write them down. Step 2. Script your response for each one. Literally write the sentence you'll say. When someone invites you to a $200 dinner, you already know what you're saying. No decision fatigue, no guilt spiral. The words are preloaded. Step 3. Track your no count for 30 days. Gamify it. Every loud budget is a redirected dollar. Jade Warshaw and her husband used exactly this approach, radical clarity about where every dollar went, to pay off more than $460,000 in debt over 7 years. Now do the math. If your average social spending trigger costs $150 and you loud budget 3 per month, that's $450 redirected, not cut, not denied, redirected into System 3. A 2026 study from a major research university found that people report higher levels of happiness when they adopt sustainable lifestyles and resist consumer-driven habits, regardless of income. Voluntary simplicity isn't deprivation. It's the algorithm override. The takeaway: the modern flex isn't what you own. It's what you refuse to buy. The digital offset. This is where you stop playing defense. Take the money system 2 freed up. Instead of parking it in a savings account, fighting inflation at 4%, redirect it into one micro-income stream. Not day trading, not crypto. Digital leverage. 3 categories to evaluate. 1. Content arbitrage. Take expertise from your day job and package it. An ebook, a template pack, a Notion system, your cost, time, and a $20 platform account. Your upside, an asset that earns while you sleep. 2. B2B SaaS affiliate. You don't build the software, you refer it. Vertical SaaS tools pay $50 to $500 per referral. Your overhead is 0. Your only asset is trust and a link. 3. AI-assisted service packaging. Use AI tools to compress 20 hours of freelance work into 4. The tools exist. The arbitrage is in the speed. I'll break each of these down step by step in next week's video. The full digital offset playbook. But here's the point. The financial vortex is structural. You can't budget your way out. You have to build income that exists outside the vortex. Income that doesn't get consumed by childcare, commute, and the tax on your time. That's not passive income. That's leveraged income. And the setup cost is less than your monthly convenience spending. Money Dysmorphia told April she was failing. Yash, the data said she was above average. The algorithm told her she was behind. The $75,000 myth told her more money wouldn't help. Every single signal was wrong. You were never broke. You were just looking at someone else's scoreboard. 3 systems. Reset your baseline, weaponize your budget, build one income stream outside the vortex. The playbook is above. Run it. If something in this video cracked your money dysmorphia even slightly, comment "I see it," or share the most absurd structural cost your generation is being forced to eat. I'll read every one, and if you want the full System 3 breakdown, the exact digital offset playbook, 0 capital, 0 commute, no permission from HR, that's next week. Subscribe so you don't miss the blueprint.